Today we're going to talk about, no we're not, we're going to talk about Remixed Pixel Dungeon. I'll show a screenshot of the phone game. Yes, it's for the phone, not for Kindle. They have it on the Kindle App Store, but I don't think that the video recording feature will work there. So this is all for your phone, your Android phone. For some reason, it's not available at the iPhone store. But there's been a recent update on the game, and I wanted to show off some of these features. They connected it to the Google Play Games app to make it so that you can record your videos of your gameplay in the game. And in order to do that, you'll need to install the Google Play app. Okay, first you go to the Google Play Store and search for the Google Play app. And when you install it, then you will want to look at some of the features about it. In the About page on the Play Store, they have instant play, built-in games, 6 of them. You can save your progress to the cloud and restore progress from the cloud. You can create a gamer profile, and it does built-in gameplay recording. But first, let's show off my book. What? I'm an author. I get to show stuff off like this. Okay, what about this book? Is this better? No? Look, I did poetry. Are you still offended? Okay, I'll behave. No, I won't. Period study particle physics is the best thing to get caught reading in public. There. Okay, so these are the games that I've been playing, and you'll want to use the camera button if you don't want to use it inside of Remixed Pixel Dungeon. I didn't give myself enough time for that. Okay, now we're moving on to the home button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you're on the home page, and you go down towards the bottom of the page where you can find those 6 games that they're talking about that are built in. And that is really all I have to show about the Google Play app and the Google Play Store. Make sure you install that app before you try to use the video recording feature in Remixed Dungeon. And as you've seen, the game is available on the Kindle store, so you can play this game on your Kindle, but because you can't install the Google Play app on your Kindle, you won't be able to do the video recording. So, without further ado, let me show off the game itself. And it's not going to be over here. I'm going to be full screen. Remember, Pixel Dungeon games have a manual setting for portrait or landscape. They don't auto-rotate, so you'll want to go into the settings menu and set it to portrait or landscape. Okay, so here we are in the game now with the inset picture of the video recorder from Google Play Games. You can access that by hitting this button right here. You'll have to, as I said before, download the app and install it on your phone and set up a profile with your username, your Gmail email account, and then when you launch the game, this button will be ghosted out first. So if you press it, it'll say connecting to Google Play services, but then after it's lit up, when you press it, it'll say this, and yes, you'll have to hit the use Google Play Games for it to activate all these other features. But you can show badges, you can show the leaderboards, back up your game progress, restore your game progress. Yes, you can save your game to the cloud now. And of course, the very bottom button is the video recording feature. Earlier, I showed you how to do it in the Google Play Games app for any game that you're playing. And to be honest, you could actually launch this game, start the video recorder here, exit the game and use it for anything else because it doesn't shut down when the game exits. So you could do it this way too. But while I'm here, I thought I would show off some features of Remixed Dungeon. These mods are actually built into the game now. These were created by players, but he went ahead and decided to add them to the game. You download them into the game, and then you can deselect them to deactivate them if you don't want to play with them. And course, he's got other buttons here. Also, I've got the game set for landscape. Unlike most games, this game doesn't auto-rotate. There's a switch to landscape button there, which when you're in landscape, it says switch to portrait. But I don't want to do that right now because that would mess up the aspect ratio of the video. Okay, so another unusual thing about this game is that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different classes you can play. There's the typical warrior, mage, rogue, the huntress, which of course you have to slay the third boss with any other class before you can play her. The elf, you have to beat the fourth boss with any other class. The necromancer you can play starting off right away. And the Null Brute, you have to persuade the town priest to heal the Null Brute. And I think this is also one of the most interesting aspects of the game here. Note there's levels of difficulty. Again, more developers are starting to do this for this game because it's hard to play. I'm going to go ahead and play normal, even though I'm not going to complete the game. But the interesting thing about this game, get over there, is that it has an overland town environment. Much like my old favorites, Wizardry, there's a tavern, there's a inn, there's a temple, but there's also a library, there's a movie house. But this township, as you can see, is much like the old towns in Ultima 3, back in the old Apple II days, 1983. Yes, I actually played Ultima 3, but this town reminds me a lot of that, so that's an interesting feature of the game. Let me run through. He's put a lot of work into the upgrading of the township area. I want to show you a couple of the buildings. This is the movie house. You can actually watch short videos of advertisements, full screen advertisements, usually 15 or 16 seconds long, and you will earn gold for having done so. There is also the shop, which I consider to be like Boltax's trading post in Wizardry. It's a pixel mart, actually. I don't know if he's done the pixel marts in the dungeon the same way too, but I like the way he's really given a lot of attention to the detail in these Overland buildings. So he's got some stained glass windows there, and angel statues. These are not weeping angels, so don't stare at them for too long, or they'll start chasing you down. You can get a blessing from the bishop, and also the priest outside, I think, is who you want to talk to if you want to try and persuade him to let you play the Null Brute. So you'll have to talk to him before you do that. Also, before you go into the dungeon, you want to talk to this guy here, the Plague Doctor, wearing the delightful plague mask. He will send you into the dungeon to kill 5 rats and bring him back 5 rat hides. Once you talk to him, you'll have the quest to pick up rat hides, and when you kill rats, you'll collect rat hides from them. The dungeon itself is up here. I'm not going to go in there yet because there's another couple of things I want to show you in the Overland town environment. There's a portal down here. I think you have to finish the game before you can access it. It seems to be a portal that leads to somewhere, but when you look at it from a certain angle, it seems to be almost entirely flat, which tells you that it's closed. So it's a portal that's just closed. And here's the inn. Note, an interesting thing I've discovered is that the townies have health bars. The people in the town, rather. They have health bars. I'm not sure if it's because they need to be attacked if anything happens. Note also, you can push. This is the same thing that happens in the dungeon. If you come up to a monster and they're asleep, you can push them to wake them up so that they'll fight you. Or you can just blindly attack them, I think. But yeah, you can talk to the town people. Sometimes they have interesting things to say. Sometimes it's just typical banter. I think you do get dialogue from all the personalities in the town. Move along, nothing to see here. There's a library up here where you can learn about monsters that you're going to meet in the dungeon. And let's go into the dungeon and see what's going on in there. Now notice though that at the bottom of the screen you have a large number of, and it's different, it's slightly fewer when it's portrait, when you have your phone vertical, but a large number of quick slots, so you don't have to worry about going to the menu and turning on the second quick slot. Also, the search and identify buttons are separate. And notice also with the animation, he swings his sword. Let me lead the wraith to the door. Guaranteed to hit him then. Okay, so you got a t-shirt again. Why can't you find better armor in the dungeon? Ooh, explosive arrows. Yeah, so you can taunt, hit, or push the monsters. I wonder if that helps you with getting a surprise attack. But anyway, so this is the game. Notice there's different animation. The monsters are pretty much the same. It's still the 2D effects. See what they have in the settings. The video recording button is here in the game too. The brightness you can turn on to make the dungeon unnaturally bright. You can set your default zoom. He does have catalogs and a journal for, you know, as you see, I talked to the plague doctor. And the logbook keeps track of your actions. It basically recites whatever you had down here in an ongoing record, so in case you need to go back and review something. As always though, you start the game equipped with a sword and a t-shirt. The potions are usually animated differently. Note there's moisten instead of just drink, drop, and throw. So I don't know what the moisten does, whether or not it's supposed to place poison somewhere or something. Another thing that's different about this game is that there are hats. That you can get hats when you donate. I don't know that there's any hats available for those who just play the game for free, but notice also that at the easy levels and normal with save levels, the gameplay has ads. It's ad supported when you play at the easier levels, so you know he's going to get some revenue from that, although it's usually not much, but if you play the game often enough, you'll earn him a lot from having multiple ads. But this is basically Remixed Dungeon. Yeah, see, every time you don't get them right away, but you do get them. Now I have to get 5 of those before I can get whatever I need to get from that plague doctor. Anyway, so this is Remixed Dungeon. I guess there's the second one. I know your warrior tends to heal himself up after not being in a fight for a while. And of course your dewdrops still heal. Is there anything else I need to show you? Yes, this is where you get to see all the different hats you can get based on your donation amount. Nice wizard hat. I'd donate $1.99 for that. Fez? Nice. See? All these different hats you can get. Okay, so that is the game.